Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I am TheSaffronMan and this is RedVsRed. Sporadiclese is over here with me as well. We're two Manchester United fans from across the world talking about the club that we love. And our club has just won 4-0 at home to Everton, which is kind of amazing. We're going to talk all about that. We'll talk about the scorers, the highlights of the game and the man of the match as well. But let's kind of go down to our, a couple of days ago, Sporadiclese, I did a little prediction for the game in midweek. It was pretty close. It was a pretty close prediction. You've done a prediction as well. I think you predicted a win. Also, I think you said 3-0 or 2-1. I can't.
2-1.
There we go, 2-1. I thought it was something like that. But yeah, it's getting pretty hard to file a prediction of a team, which I found out, and you found that out also. It was kind of, no one really expected that lineup, but it got the job done. But talk to me about it.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised, and I won't say that I was upset with the picks. I mean, I love seeing Manu come out and get a start. I thought that Ugarte was going to get the start. He did not, but I think Casemiro did. He did an okay job. But I think altogether this was a pretty solid lineup. A lot of what we expected kind of at the back. I was hoping to see Luke Shaw start, but not again. I'm not mad about it. I think that altogether it was. I mean, he's still testing players out, right, and seeing who jives well with who and everything to that effect. And I mean, he definitely stumbled onto something today. There was something in the water, and Ruben Amorim brought us Christmas early this year. So,
well, let's hope Christmas hasn't arrived just yet, because we've got some big games yet to come. And I did ask for no presents today, so that's fine. But yeah, it did kind of work. I think there were question marks. Like you said, he's still rotating the players. Some of them are just getting back into fitness. I think it is still early to start Luke Shaw. The fact that he's played an hour under the tenure of Amorim as manager already is kind of miraculous. So let's not let's not rush him. Let's keep that going. Lady Euro is still to come back as well. Harry Maguire came back today after being out of with an injury for a little while. I think Lindelof is still kind of injured, but we were out. Martinez got a yellow card in this match, so he's kind of banned for the next match, which makes it interesting. I think that's why Maguire got some game time today. Hopefully, Kobe came back today. I think that was all.
Probably got a yellow too, and so he's gonna miss the next match as well.
Well, he's kind of just got back from injury as well. So again, this is a little bit of a cameo kind of appearance. Say, look, this is who I am. This is what I can do. And look, I think we won 4-0 with him on the pitch still at the time. So I think, that's fine. He's had his little audition. He can go and serve suspension. Yeah, it's going to suck that it's not going to be... But we do have a little bit of depth in all kind of positions at the moment, since everyone's coming back from injury. When we have like 7 or 8 injuries, we're kind of slimmed down and we're playing the young... But now our bench today was pretty good. Garnacho, Ugarte, Højlund is there. Like, it's looking pretty strong. Maguire was on the bench coming on, which was really well. But yeah, going back to that starting 11, I think we're starting to see a few people that are going to get mainstays now. I think we know Diallo is our right wing back. Like, he had a man of the match performance today, and even though we had RASHFORD and ZIRKZEE both score goals, which we're going to talk to in a little bit, but Amad Diallo was just absolutely everywhere for us. Just every time he gets on the ball and he drops his shoulder and he beats that defender, the whole crowd gets excited because they know that he's got the pace to get past them and there's space in front of him. It's just a delight to watch every time he gets on the ball,
Yeah, I mean, he basically has been operating as like a one-man press, and it's been to great effect. I mean, he's gotten us at least 3 goals off of applying pressure and winning the ball high up the pitch and either taking it on himself or putting somebody else in a position to be able to benefit from all the hard work that he's putting in. And so if you weren't going to pick him as man of the match, I was for sure. So I'm glad that we definitely concur there.
I think that
So
must be the
much of
first time in 8 months of creating content that we've agreed on something. So it's fine.
so much of what happened today happened because of this young man here, and so I'm really glad to see him kind of thriving in this role as right wing back, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do. Further on into his career. I think that we've got somebody that could be, in our starting lineup in that position for many, many years to come.
But yeah, and I agree. It's just the confidence that he's shown over the last couple of games, especially. He's shown. People have been asking to show a bit of maturity and a bit of commitment. Like, he's now currently showing maturity beyond his years at the moment. I think all those times in Scotland and in the lower leagues have really kind of hardened him up and made him into what he is at the moment. He is now performing week in, week out. He is now consistently tracking back. He's running forward. He's got the legs. He's creating more. He's probably created more in the last 3 matches than what he has done the previous 18 or something. Like, it's been something crazy. He's just... And this isn't even like a purple patch or a rich vein of form. This is just Amad Diallo coming up to speed of his own abilities and levels. And we're seeing him just glance past people for fun. And it's exciting. Like, you can hear the crowd. They're excited every time he dodges past someone. And I'm sure you're the same every time he gets on the ball.
Yeah, I mean, he's so thrilling to watch, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure that he's one of the top Premier League players in terms of runs in behind the defense and getting in behind, and whether that's him creating those opportunities for himself or just beating his man and then having the ball played to him.
Yeah.
I mean, he just looks every bit the type of winger that we've been looking for so long, the type of winger that we paid over £80 million for, and then got basically an academy player. And so, to have somebody of this young man's stature and experience to come out and be able to perform at this high of a level, what I'm seeing now is consistently is just very impressive. I think that we were kind of concerned with him there for a little while at the start of the season. Ten Hag kind of lost his faith in him, and he wasn't playing him a whole lot. And he's taken these opportunities that he's been given, and he is absolutely running with them.
I think these performances, with all the changes and rotation, we've changed our formation, we are rotating people out, like people are coming out from injury, people are needing minutes, Amorim's trying to give an audition for pretty much everyone. We're having more matches than training sessions at the moment because of the winter period that's about to happen. Yeah. But I think Amad Diallo has literally just, I'm just trying to go back to the image, where have we gone? Amad Diallo has made that first team spot his own. I don't think no one that I can think of is going to take that spot away from him. Anthony's definitely not going to do that either.
I mean, Mazraoui is the only person that I can see even potentially doing that, and I would not want that because of what Amad is bringing to our attack. Mazraoui cannot match that. He just cannot.
Well, look, Mazraoui can play in a lot of positions, and we don't know because we haven't really played him in those attacking positions consistently. And he did set up a great goal the other night from the central attacking area.
Absolutely.
Like, he's nimble on the ball, and he's played in multiple positions. But I wouldn't want to take that. I'm happy where Mazraoui plays on the pitch. Wherever he plays, I'm happy. Like, if he needs to play right wing back because Amad needs a break, or Amad goes into the 10 role and then he needs to move up, we've got a bit of versatility in this shape all of a sudden. People can play multiple positions. Luke Shaw plays centre back during the week as well as the left wing back, and Mazraoui's playing all over the place. Rashford has played as a 10, as an up front. Garnacho was left wing back the other day. Like, everyone's kind of. Casemiro was centre back the other day. Everyone's kind of chopping and changing and showing a bit of versatility, which is good to see. But I'm happy with Mazraoui in behind that front, the midfield four. Like, he just mops everything up. He's tall, he's pacey, he just makes good decisions. Like, every decision is just a good decision. And I remember Wan-Bissaka, who's playing well at the moment, and Delot. I mean, some of the decisions that Delot made are just they're not up to par. Like, and when you're comparing wing backs, just the mental decision making alone puts Mazraoui leagues above Delo, in my opinion. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. Who else makes good decisions like that? Like, usually like a De Bruyne when he decides what type of pass to make, whether it's the outside of the boot or an in-swinger with the inside of the boot or a driven pass or a bobbly ball, whatever. It's those kind of decisions, not the class or the quality of the ball itself, but the decision to make that pass. And Mazraoui is just, I will dodge that person. Okay, I'm going to pass that. I'm going to hold it up, and then I'm going to hit that 40-yard ball that he did today to Delo. I mean, it beat like 3 or 4 defenders just on the bounce. It was really good to see. But yeah, that right side of our team, our formation, is pretty much solidified with Diallo and Mazraoui, you know.
Yeah, and honestly, whenever we have more of our center backs back into the lineup and into the rotation, they're probably going to be interchanging at that wing back spot, and Mazraoui's probably still going to get some minutes in that right center back spot.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean the way that he's been performing there's no reason that he can't continue to do that. So to your point, he's got that versatility. He's played in an attacking role for us previously to pretty good effect too. So he's going to be good on the press, which I think that we have seen a little bit of so far. I'd like to see a little bit more in terms of, okay, we've lost the ball high up the pitch. Let's press them before we start, to shell up. And I think we've done that to fairly decent effect, especially with Ahmad. But it's looking like, Mazraoui and Ahmad can rotate. And then we could also have Garnacho and Luke Shaw rotating on the left. So
yeah,
now Diogo Dalot he's got a decision to make for himself, where, he might be looking at not getting a whole lot of time here, going from, ironically enough, the most minutes out of any Manchester United player in the Premier League last season to he might be finding it difficult to get minutes.
I'm not that mad at that, though. I mean, that could be a good thing.
Oh, I'm not mad.
No, but I mean, remember, no, it's fine. I mean, Eriksen had a bit of a gap, and he kind of came back firing. And Dalot, he's had to play through injury consistently. Like, we've had next to no one, no squad depth for that kind of position for like 12 to 18 months. He's always had to be playing. So the fact that we're getting like Mazraoui and Luke Shaw and Malacia back and a couple of others might just give him a chance to just breathe for a couple, just focus on training, focus on this new formation, on what Ruben Amorim wants, and just come back towards the end of the season again with a bit of form and just that's the Diogo Dalot. He's got a bit of time now, let's say 6 months, to kind of work on his game and the new formation. Because there are other people coming back from injury, competing for positions, he can just say, last 8 to 12 months have been hard for everyone at Manchester United, not just players, but it's been hard for him as well. So he could just, the next 6 months, if he doesn't get so many minutes, put the effort on the training pitch and come back but he could still be that world beater that we all know that he can be. But yeah, I think Liverpool, Liverpool just nearly scored. Go away. What do you want? Liverpool, Man City. I kind of want just like a 4-4 draw with 2 red cards each and a bunch of injuries.
Oh man, I would love that. Yeah. Any day that they both drop points is a good day.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed that I hate that one of them has to get points.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I can't.
No points,
I don't want either of them to
perfect.
Win. Exactly. So 4-4 draw, squad draw, 2 red cards each, and a couple of injuries on Rico level. Then I'm happy. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. So, sorry, that's all in the background. But what happened today, though, during the game is Rashford got a couple of goals. We've already talked about Amad Diallo getting his man of the match performance, and Diallo was the one that made all of this tick. But Rashford is he's turning up when he needs to. He's had 3 shots in 2 games, and he scored all 3, pretty much. I think what made me laugh, though, when he scored this first goal, yes, it was a deflection off Braithwaite. But when Rashford knew it was in, he then sprinted to the corner flag, and that's the fastest I've seen him move in God knows how long. He ran faster to celebrate the goal than he does on the pitch on the ball. Did you notice that as well, or was that just me?
I did.
Yeah. Rashford put us up 1-0 ahead, scrappy as it may be, but it was a good effort from a set piece. He had so much space outside that box, Radiclese.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and Jared Branthwaite, to his credit, he already looks a Manchester United player. He did a lot for us today.
That's at least
With that
10 million
deflection,
off the
securing the goal, the first goal, and then letting Diallo press him into giving up the ball and creating that opportunity for ZIRKZEE. I mean, he looks like he's already fitting right into the lineup. And with how bad our defense has been over the past couple of seasons, I mean, again, he just kind of slots right in.
Yeah, I think although I think we're kind of good for them. I don't think we can buy in. I don't think we're going to go back to break.
And I don't want to. I'm just messing. It looked like we had a 12th man on the pitch. Is what I'm getting at.
It's kind of colossal actually thinking back to how badly Everton screwed up that deal. Like, they said, we want 80 million. No. Here's 40 million. No. We want 80 million. No, all right. Here's 50 million plus add-ons. No. We want 80 million. Okay, we don't want him. What do you mean you don't want him? You come back and I'm like, no. We just don't want him. Then, all right. 74. No, we're good.
And here, let me show you why we don't want him.
Yep, there we go. There's the highlight. So, yeah, fair play. But Rashford has been scoring the goals. Like, we all want to see more. When we see Amad Diallo on the ball, he's just a bundle of positive energy and joy. And Diallo's had lots to go on over the last, and he's got a lot to not be happy and joyful about. But yet he still has that body language of just a bundle of energy, right? And people applaud that. I think that's great. And Rashford is going on trips to America and LA, and so his new girlfriend is from Love Island and stuff, and I'm just like, what's he got that's going on to make his body language so kind of, do you know what I mean? Like, why isn't he more like Amadeo? But he is putting in performances somehow. I just want, it's not enough. I think it was a scrappy goal to get us going, which was great. He started off that first half amazing to get us another goal. And I think flashes here and there aren't really enough as a Man United player. Am I being harsh here, or I don't know?
I mean, here's the way that I see it. We've had 3 games under Ruben Amorim, and he scored 3 goals. So right now, I think that he's setting himself up for success in a role that he's not used to playing. Mm-hmm. Right. So he got the goal against Ipswich in the first, 80 seconds or whatever, last weekend. And then, this time, got the goal today to kind of open the scoring. And then another quick fire goal. It was 20 seconds into the first half, and we scored a goal. Yeah. And so I'm looking at that and I'm saying, okay, this is promising at the very least. This is promising. So it's going to give Ruben Amorim a headache if he continues to have this type of form. Mm-hmm. If he continues this goal scoring. Now let's be realistic. Ipswich Town and Everton are not really, top contenders in the Premier League, and we've seen him perform well against these types of teams in the past. It's where he gets most of his goals, and then you see him in a game like against a Manchester City or an Arsenal, and he just doesn't turn up. Well, we have a couple games here in the next 3 in the Premier League that we need him to turn up, and so this is the time to build on this vein of form that he's found. To potentially solidify himself a position in Manchester United, because if he can't perform in those big matches, I don't think Ruben Amorim's going to want to keep him.
Liverpool have just scored, so my 4-4 prediction is still on course.
It's on its way.
It's on its way. Okay. Okay. So maybe I feel like I'm maybe being a bit harsh. I think it's good to see that Rashford is finally getting in the goals. I know he's not really going to be happy in playing in that role because he prefers the left wing, but we've literally removed his favourite role from our formation. So I don't know. And again, we talked about last week about. He only has 1, maybe 2 evolutions left as a player, and I don't think he wants to evolve to be a striker, if I'm honest. But look, it's producing results. We've always known he knows where the back of the net is. So and the fact that he scored from 20 seconds after the second half, I think we scored some really quick goals from kickoffs under Amorim's tenure already. I mean, literally the first game was under 60 seconds. The next game was under 60 seconds. I think Rashford scored in under 2 minutes. We set up to do the same again. We're scoring quickly after kickoffs for whatever reason. And usually it's the second half where we kind of warm things up, but we started
and
quick
it wasn't
now.
even our kickoff, right?
Right.
Everton started to try and just drill the ball into our territory, and it was a quick boom, 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 2 passes, and we're already in on goal. Third pass is to secure the best shot opportunity for Marcus Rashford, and that's a goal. And that's a goal 10 times out of 10 he doesn't miss that.
And I tell you what, in that first half especially, there was some one-touch passes in around the box as well. I was like, ooh, like there was, it could have been like 6 or 7 just in a row. Like, we haven't seen angles or passing like that from United in a long time. And if Amorim's trying to set that up, like to control the... Right now, it's a puzzle. There's only so many pieces we've got in the right position at the moment. But if that's the end result, getting passing like that in and around the penalty box, like that's going to be really. That was really good fun to watch. Those glimpses of what could be for the future,
I think my main concern right now with how we've been playing is that consistently after the first 10-15 minutes is whenever we have a lull, right? We come out and we play hard for 10-15 minutes, and then the energy levels drop, especially if we've not gotten a goal, which happened today, and we gave Everton a lot of chances in the start of that first half, because we just couldn't keep a hold of the ball, and it looked a little disjointed at times. And so, we definitely, I think we need to continue to carry our momentum, especially if we're going to come out and we're going to play like we did, again, today in the last couple of games whenever we're coming out of the gates. It's high energy, high octane, getting the ball, being direct, and, creating opportunities for ourselves. And I'd like to see more of that throughout the first half instead of just at the start and right at the end.
I think because we have scored, in Amorim's first few games, obviously they're doing their research on what's going on as well. Like, we scored really early in our last couple of games before this one. And I think Everton and Sean Dyche saw that. And if you saw, they literally, they were very condensed and compact for the first 10 minutes because they didn't want to concede that early goal. For whatever reason, we've got a bit of energy and a bit of spark about us at the start. But then nothing really happened. We didn't get any clear-cut chances, and then they started to come out after the first 10 minutes. Like, they had a mini-game. Don't concede for the first 10 minutes, and then express yourself. And they started coming out of the box, and we were still trying to push, and there was a big gap between our defence and our midfield, and sometimes behind our defence, because we were still trying to get that first goal. But Everton, they set up the stall really good, and they kind of expressed themselves later on, and they did have their chances. I mean, not many were proper clear-cut, but they had their chances for sure. I think we were just more clinical and maybe a bit luckier on the day.
So what do you think if this is the team that shows up next weekend against Arsenal?
Well, it's not even next weekend. That's midweek.
Oh, that's midweek. Oh, excuse me. Next match day.
Yeah.
That's what I should have said.
Yeah. Well, we're going to.
So if that quality of team shows up, what do you think happens against an Arsenal team?
Well, again, we've
It's
had
down on their luck even.
We've had 2 completely different lineups so far. I think it's going to be a bit foolhardy to kind of predict what Amorim, who's fit. Was he saving Luke Shaw to start his first game? He's not going to bring Lenny Oro in against Arsenal.
No.
But
not to start.
No, especially when Mazraoui's kind of doing so well in that spot at the moment anyway. I think Mazraoui's earned that. But it's going to be really tough. I'm going to have to do the prediction on that on Tuesday as well. I'll probably save my prediction guesses for then because we're going to find out some injury news by then for sure. But yeah, I think I had a few question marks over Casemiro today. I sent you the message earlier on while I was watching the match. Just, he went in for like 7 slide tackles, and every single time I was like, oh no. And, I just got that mental square box gif in my head every time he goes down. And sometimes he got the ball, sometimes it was nowhere near. But it's just, I don't know how it makes you feel, but every time it's just, oh my god.
Anxiety ridden is how he makes
It's
me
like,
feel.
do you ever go down the Big Dippers when you were younger? Those massive slides where, like, and then also your stomach kind of, it's like that every time Casemiro goes down for a slide tackle. Just makes it, yeah. I don't know how he didn't get booked. Do you know, and think about it, the percentages, right? People in midfield obviously don't go to ground anymore. You know, it's not worth the risk or worth the trouble. Like, even if you get the ball, you could still get sent off and stuff like that. No one told that to Casemiro. And the fact that he's probably had like 20 slide tackles, he's at least averaging 5 per match. Like, he's overdue a red card by now, surely, just from the law of averages. He's kind of a unique... Do you know any other player in the league that's doing what he's doing at the moment, though? Like, he seems to enjoy it too much.
No, because they've got a bit of sense about it.
He's El Loco. He's crazy.
Oh, man, I love it and I hate it at the same time.
I
really
don't love it. I don't.
It's a spectacle. It's a spectacle every time he steps onto the pitch.
Yeah. But that, at some point, it's good now because he's not getting sent off or booked or anything. But when he gets sent off, that's going to be like, okay. Kobbie Mainoo today, first game back. We had talked about when he comes back, he's going to kind of fill in those slots and have that advanced role. Didn't quite happen like that, but you can definitely see his potential. He's looking to fit himself into that system. This is his first match. He's also going to get better in time with Ruben Amorim. But it wasn't a bad performance, and he actually looked promising in many different parts of the game, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I would absolutely agree. You know, nothing that really stood out, but, you know, again, also nothing that, you know, was like, oh, man, Kobbie, why did you do that? Altogether, I think it was a safe performance by him today. The only exception being, you know, whenever he did get that yellow, because you know the touch was just not quite what he needed it to be from you know the out pass from Andre Onana, and so you know that's really the only kind of you know thing that happened to him today that was kind of like, oh well, you know that probably could have been a bit better. But overall, you know, I think he looked fairly confident on the ball, and you know, just kind of did what I was expecting him to, you know, in terms of linking up the defense transitioning into offense. You know, he wasn't exactly an integral part of that, but he did play a part in it today, and so altogether a good performance from him. I'm hoping to see better. I mean, we still haven't seen the flashes that we were seeing from him last season. And so, you know, it's just going to take a little bit of time. To your point, he's been out on injury for a little while, so it'll take a little while for him to get back into it. But once he does, I think we'll be seeing a lot of the same Kobbie that we had seen all last season.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And again, lots of games coming up. Everyone's going to be pretty tired towards the end, so we'll see how Kobbie can do. Another person I wanted to talk about, Sporadiclese, someone that I've personally been rather critical of so far, I know there's Ahmed, we've already talked about Ahmed, is Joshua ZIRKZEE. Got himself a couple of goals today.
Yeah, and so you know he's somebody that I harped on at the beginning of the season, and even before he had been brought in, and that he has the ability to bring something different to the United team, and I think that on the whole we have seen exactly that. He does bring something a little bit different. The only issue is that we have not seen him converting his opportunities into goals. And finally today, after the last time that he scored for us, I believe was against Fulham, in the very first match week of the season. And so, to triple his goal tally for the Premier League season, in one match, I like to see that. Now it was in my mind, both of those were basically sitters. The first one I think might have been a little bit more difficult because he did have a couple of bodies to get through, but overall I don't think that the degree of difficulty of those finishes was particularly high, and we've seen him miss a lot of opportunities that should have been basically sitters.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see him get on the score sheet. I know that he needed this. I know that I wanted this. And to see him come out and play in a role that I think suits him a little bit more than like the number 9, right? Him playing number 10 behind the striker, and just kind of creating spaces. And man, that flick that he had through to Alejandro Garnacho, that looked sick.
Yeah.
Really loved that. And so, I'm hoping that this is the Joshua ZIRKZEE that we can expect to see going forward, because this was a good day for him.
Yeah, it was a good day. I think this is the first time that he's actually been played in a position that A, he wants to play, and B, that we can actually suitor for him, because we had people behind and in front of him. The amount, we played him in that 10 role or that 9.5, and there's been no one in front of him. Well, he's not that off the edge of the shoulder sort of attacker. He likes to let play develop and walk into the space and just be there to mop things up, and he does that great, and he can link up play as he goes on as well. But we haven't seen that because no one's really been ahead of him. But both of these goals came as the person with the ball was creating the main play, and he's trying to use intelligence to be where he's needed at the right time. And you say like both of those goals, both of those chances he had today were missable. That first one was at a pace, and he was slightly behind him because Ahmad left the ball who was in front of him. So he had a little less reaction time, and there was a defender on the line as well. So I thought he'd done well there to get that on target and on pace and under control with the time that he had to react to it, which is pretty bad. Although the second one was a little bit easier. I actually thought he miskicked the second one to start off with, because he waited for the goalkeeper to drop down to his right, and then he put it in the opposite corner. And a really good comment. Who would have taken the penalty if we got that penalty? Would it have been Rashford or ZIRKZEE?
Ooh, I think you got to give it to Marcus Rashford. I think we have a better history with him at Manchester United. I don't know that Joshua ZIRKZEE has taken a ton of opportunities from the penalty spot. So if Bruno's not going to be the one to take it, then you definitely give it to Rashford, in my opinion.
I think Rashford would have given it to ZIRKZEE. I think you're right. Rashford would have got to take it, but I think he would have said, "No, go on, mate. You have it. You need it more than I." For whatever, I think he's just that sort of person. I don't know. And that's the problem with Marcus. We all want him to have that predatory instinct. Like, go on, go get goal. Like, if he would have got that penalty, he should have taken that penalty and actually get more goals. We want to see that predatory instinct, that hunger to get goals. Yeah. I wouldn't have liked to see Marcus give that to Joshua ZIRKZEE or something, but I think that's what he would have done.
Now, fun fact: whenever Joshua ZIRKZEE scored his first goal, my wife and I actually hit the same celebration.
Oh, really?
We both got excited and just, yeah!
Oh, that's mental.
Great.
Okay. All right.
Just as an aside.
On the side. So, Arsenal, as you mentioned, I'm not going to do my kind of prediction or anything. I'm going to say that. So, let's kind of go over your prediction. It's a big game against Arsenal. We both need 3 points. I think, we've moved up to 9th now. So I'm not saying we're in the best run of form, but we are in a bit of form. We complained that our attackers are the worst in the top half of the league. We're now in the top half of the league, and our attackers have scored 6 in 2 games. Højlund got a couple in midweek. Rashford just got a couple. ZIRKZEE's just got a couple. All of a sudden goals have come out of nowhere. And I think we've got one thing that Arsenal don't have, is that fluidity and interchangeable. Like, we can change our personnel and our system. I think Arsenal have a very good squad of 11 to 14 players, maybe. But not all of them can make a difference. Bukayo Saka, and they have Odegaard, who's just come back, which I think is going to be interesting. But I think we are such a wild card of a team right now. We're probably where Chelsea were like 8 months ago, like just trying to mould all these people together on a new system. And I don't know, how do you see it going with Arsenal? It's going to be tense.
Yeah, it is. And it's away, yes.
I had that. There you go. Let me double check as you're talking.
it's going to be an interesting one. To your point, I think the one
Away, yeah.
kind of advantage that we have, you say versatility. I'm saying we have unpredictability because this is an entirely different setup. This is an entirely different style and tactics that we're employing. And so everything that all of these teams in the Premier League have known about Manchester United over the past, 2.5 seasons is just gone. Right? It's just completely and totally different. And I think I'm gonna offer forgiveness for Ipswich, and us not getting 3 points against Ipswich. That should have happened. It's one of those things where if and I don't think that it would justify us having him, but if Rude would have been coaching in that particular scenario, I think we win that one fairly handily because it was a familiar system. We were finding a good bit of form overall. Not necessarily just in the Premier League, but over the course of his matches. To your point, last week I think we were undefeated under him. We were performing well. People wanted to go out and play and score goals, and so that could have been a different result. But since we had these new tactics and we were adjusting, it didn't look quite as fluid as it probably could have, or cohesive for that matter. Now I think today with the performance that we saw, it's really going to come down to, does Arsenal punish us in that between that 15 and 25 30 minute mark. We come out, we start strong, and I think we're going to continue to do that even away from home. I think we're still going to go out and do that. And so we just have to make sure that we're not conceding whenever our energy levels drop off that little bit. It's gonna be an exciting one. Honestly, I think that we can go there and get a result though, because they haven't had a great run of form themselves here recently. Yes, they played West Ham yesterday, thumped them. But then you also saw them give up 2 quick, easy goals against West Ham too. One from Aaron Wan-Bissaka, his second goal of the Premier League season, and then a banger free kick from Emerson. If you missed that, you should go back and watch that. That was one hell of a free kick. And so the fact that they're still conceding those goals, I think is going to be a positive for us. And so I think it's something that we can exploit. I think, with Ahmad playing in the way that he has been these last few games, he's going to be really fun to watch against an Arsenal team. And, I'm expecting good things. All things considered, I'm expecting good things. And so we should at least come away from that with a point, in my opinion.
Go on, score prediction. Put yourself out there.
Oh man, if I've really got to put myself out there, there's going to be goals. I think that they're a team that scores goals, and we're a team that's starting to score goals. So I'm going to go 2-2 draw.
Yeah, again, I'll try and say my prediction, my scoreline for the video that I do on Tuesday. I think where we will struggle though will be the midfield. I think right now we're struggling transitioning from defence to attack. Now we can counter-attack, not a problem, but it's that multi-phase going through the layers of attack. Like we're struggling to link up the different areas of the pitch at times, and I think Arsenal's midfield they are months and months ahead of where our midfield is in terms of unity and synergy and knowing what's what. Declan Rice and Odegaard are a handful. They're masters of what they do. And yes, we have a master of the dark arts in Casemiro. I don't think it's quite the same levels yet. Now, give us like 3 years of Kobe Mainu and Manuel Ugarte, then I think we're talking, But we can't. There's no hyperbolic time chamber where they could just spend a day and make like 12 months worth of training or anything. Like we just have to give our players time in that new system. But yeah, I trust our defense, not to be like a stellar 10 out of 10 quality. I just trust the heart of our defense. Like Mazraoui, De Ligt, Martinez is obviously going to be bad, but Maguire's a good stand-in. I trust our defense to work hard and to put their bodies on the line. I trust our midfield to try and work hard, but I don't trust Casemiro's temperament, and we can't count on a 10 out of 10 performance when needed from Kobbie Mainoo or Eriksen or Ugarte. Like we can't count on someone like, yeah, he's going to stand up and be counted on against Arsenal. We just don't know that about our midfield yet. And again, we can't counter on attack. Yes, they've scored like 6 goals in 3 games. And they can score. They're very capable of scoring and putting pressure on it. But it's not guaranteed. We've gone 8 months without really scoring many goals. So, yeah, I trust our defence. Our midfield needs time. Liverpool's got another one. Well, I don't know.
Well, I'm predicting that Casemiro is not going to be our starter there. I think that Ugarte fills in that spot for sure. It's just a matter of who he's going to partner with. At this point, we've already seen, Kobbie Mainoo and Bruno Fernandes in that role. I think Mason Mount would be a good shout there. I think that Mainoo and Mount offer similar characteristics in terms of, holding the ball up and taking people on and transitioning into, that offensive shift after we're getting the ball back. And so. Whenever we saw Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes on the same lineup, I thought that was what was going to happen, but Bruno Fernandes was actually the one that dropped in deeper. So I was a little confused by that. I think with the way that Ruben Amorim likes to play, I mean, this is me obviously telling the master how to play his own formation, but I would have expected Mount to have been that deeper player, and then Bruno Fernandes occupying that role up a little bit higher, and so. I'm expecting Ugarte. Bruno, we saw with an ice pack on his left ankle today.
He'll be fine.
After he got subbed off, I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm hoping that he'll be fine. If he's not fine, then we're not fine, in my opinion. And so we're definitely going to need him come. Is it Wednesday? It's Wednesday, isn't it?
It is Wednesday, 8:15 UK time, so it's a late one. So yeah, you'll probably get my review out on the Tuesday, the day before. Yeah, I think it's going to be really exciting to try and do. It's definitely going to be a tense watch. I don't think if this match was like in towards the end of the season, I think there'll be a lot more riding on it than what there is now. I think a result either way, and we can just go. It's still like our 3rd game under Amorim or 4th game under it, or whatever. This isn't a do or die but we're trying to salvage our season, and we're 9th now. And people at the top are dropping points. And we're seeing points.
Liverpool is not dropping points.
Well, they bloody better drop some points this match. I tell you, it needs to come. I mean, I've just said come on City. Let's just edit that bit out in the final drop. But yeah, it should be a really tense game, and I'm looking forward to it. It's got a festive. I'm sure it's going to have that festive vibe. I'm sure I'm going to be wearing the Christmas hat next week if we beat them. But if we get some points on the run, we could salvage our season. It could be really fun. But anyway, we've dabbled on for long enough, Sporadiclese. How about we get into some for or against it? I've got some doozies for you for this week. Who's going to be for or against this week?
I think that I was against last week, so I'm going to be for.
Okay. All right, so for those that don't know, we've got a for or against segment. I'll come up with 3 questions or statements that are intent to irk you in some way, and we're going to give you both sides of the story so you can come up to your own conclusions. So I'm ready, Sporadiclese. You ready so far? You ready?
Yeah, I mean, let's go ahead and let's do this.
All right, let's see if my button works this time, shall we? All right, here we go. First try. There we go. Hey. Welcome everyone. I'm the TheSaffronMan, and that is Sporadiclese. We are RedVsRed, and this is our for or against segment. We've just done our podcast, our weekly podcast. Make sure you go check that out on Rumble and on YouTube. Make sure you hit the follow button as well if you like content. Show your support over the Christmas holidays. That'd be great. Sporadiclese. So I'm going to be against this week or for? What did we just agree on?
You're
5 seconds
gonna be
ago.
Against. I'm going to be for.
Okay, so Sporadiclese is going to do the for segment. I'm going to be against. And the first question I've got for you today, Sporadiclese, is drum roll. What we got? We have dream start for Amarim. So Amarim's just had a couple of games under his belt. We've had a draw as well. Is this been a dream start for Amarim, all things considered?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the only kind of road bump that you could possibly argue would be the Ipswich game, and I think that that being the very first game under him, I think we got to give him a little bit of grace. Our players, have been stuck in a system that they have been playing for years and years and years, and now we're finally starting to see a little bit of what he's bringing to the table in the last couple of games in terms of the shift in tactics. There were so many opportunities where, in the Ipswich game where, we should have been just turning with the ball and playing it forward and being direct. And now we're starting to see that in the last couple of games against Sporadiclese, as well as, today against Everton. And so, we needed points in Europa League. We needed them badly. We needed points in the Premier League. We needed them badly. And so 7 points out of 9, that's a pretty good start, all things considered. We could have had 9, but still, with everything that's been going on and, a lot of the players not necessarily knowing what to expect whenever he's coming into this role as manager after the international break, I think this was a dream start for him. 7 points is not a bad haul.
On a side note, I saw Rico Lewis shoot the ball, and the tuft of grass went further towards the goal than the ball did. So that was just to see slow motion. He kicked the ground, and
yes,
perfect. All right. Anyway, so look, I don't think this has been a dream start in terms of the actual results. Yeah, it's not been bad, but in terms of the formation and what he wants from the players, I think it's been far from exceptional. He's telling the players like Casemiro and Johnny Evans, they're looking towards the manager for instructions at times, which is all well and good. We've talked about that. We're having to use actual matches in the Premier League as training sessions at the moment because there is no time for training sessions. So he's doing a lot of in-house coaching on the pitch, telling players what they want. Sometimes there's some confusion, sometimes there's not a clear image. I mean, from fans, we're seeing a style of play. Like, it's not perfect, but we're seeing the remnants of something to start and something to grow. And I don't think the players have quite got that same vision yet either. Is that they don't know where everyone's going to be. Sometimes they're double upping on their positions, especially defence and midfield. When Cobby drops back, sometimes we've got Casemiro and Cobby drop back in that just a massive hole in midfield. Sometimes down the wing, sometimes the press isn't there, sometimes the wrong person has gone forward. Martinez got caught out earlier on today. During the game midweek, people were blaming Tyrell Malacia for losing that foot race, but actually it was because Martinez was left further on the pitch. There was no left centre-back there to kind of cover him. So it's all a positional awareness kind of situation and the knowledge of what the coach is trying to offer. I think he knows there's lots. You can see Amarim getting angry at the sidelines sometimes because people aren't quite seeing what he wants, the vision is. So, yeah, I mean, results-wise, it's been great. We're getting some points on the board. The style of play is kind of visible. We're actually getting a couple of goals, but I think in terms of a dream start, I think Amarim is just seeing all these problems that he has to fix and the time that he's got to fix them. And I think he's just realised how big of a task this is going to be. This isn't 6 weeks. This isn't going to be fixed by January. I don't think no one's claiming it's going to be fixed by January either. But I think he knows it's going to take a few windows and a lot of time to get what he wants. So we'll see.
I don't think that we've scored 8 goals in 3 games under Eric Ten Hag. Period.
We scored 7 against Barnsley.
Against Barnsley.
Wait, no, I'm just saying. This is one mention. You said that.
Okay. So you have one example of us thrashing.
Absolutely. You said there wasn't an example, and I'm just saying.
Team. right? We're talking about we had 2 Premier League matches and a Europa League match. We don't get 8 goals in 2 Premier League matches and a Europa League match under Erik ten Hag in 2.5 years. There's no way. And so we needed Rasmus Højlund to start getting goals. We needed Joshua ZIRKZEE to start getting goals, and we needed Marcus Rashford to start getting goals. Guess who scored 2 goals apiece in the last 2 games? Each of those 3 players. And Amad Diallo looks the realest deal.
Just winding up that key in your back, mate. Just winding you up, and I'm just going to let it go. Just let you do your like the Christmas toy. That's all I need to do. But yeah, we have scored 7 goals one time. It wasn't against the greatest of teams, but to your point, it has happened, just not very often. But yeah, I don't know where we're going to settle on this one, Sporadiclese. I think, again, points are... I think I'm going to have to stay firm on my one. It's not been a dream start. From a tactical, managerial point of view, I think he's seen more problems than solutions. Do you know? You know what I mean?
In 3 matches, for it to go from very clearly an Erik ten Hag side against Ipswich to a very different side and a more attacking-minded side in against Everton, I think we're already starting to see a lot of the things that he's trying to change. And so I think that we are starting to get there. You're not... Pep Guardiola could come in for Manchester United and not have his entire tactics set out and put on full display in 3 matches. And so from what we can expect from Amorim, I think he's been delivering on. And so to me, yes, that is the dream start.
Mo Salah just got kicked in the knee. And he's like, he complained, he's hurt my knee, and then runs around on the spot on the bad knee. Remembered he had a bad knee, then picked up his knee again and went out. Oh, you silly bitty. Okay, look, all right. Well, I'm gonna be very festive in spirit, and I'm gonna just leave that one white there, Sporadiclese. And
festive would be giving me that one because it already should have been mine.
Bah humbug.
I'll take a draw.
Bah humbug.
I'll take a draw. Yeah, little Scrooge.
Yeah. All right, question number 2. We have here. Martinez ban will cost us the Arsenal, as Martinez got a really strange booking today against Everton. I don't know what it was strange, but he did get booked. That's his 5th booking. He's going to get banned for 1 game against Arsenal, which is going to suck. Is that going to cost us RedVsRed or not?
I mean, absolutely. To say that, he isn't going to, that's not going to cost us, I think would be a little asinine in my opinion. He's been a mainstay in our defense throughout this entire season. I think he's been a fairly reliable defender for us, and so we don't have... the only person that could possibly fill those boots is Luke Shaw, who I would not really want to play. This is probably going to be the match where he plays his first full 90 out of absolute necessity.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that he is going to really be up for it because it has been a long time coming for him to really get minutes for us again. And again, you're putting him into a brand new system. So he's having to acclimate back to the Premier League, and he's having to acclimate to an entirely new system, and he's going to have to acclimate into a role that he, yes, has filled into, but is not entirely accustomed to. It's not his best role. And so, the lack of options there and the lack of match fit centre backs at this point, because Harry Maguire was on the bench. I don't know if Johnny Evans was on the bench, but I think he would have been available for the bench as of today. Lenny Yoro's not going to be available. Lindelof's not going to be available. We have just a huge lack of available depth in that position. And so he's one of the first players on the team sheet every single week. So it's definitely going to cost us.
Yeah, I think if we're going to lose against Arsenal, I don't think it's going to be for that one position. I think it's going to be on a knife edge. If we lose, we're probably going to lose to a free kick. Arsenal are really good at corners, and we're really unproven at corners. So that may be a thing to keep an eye on. But yeah, I was disappointed with Martinez, but I'm also not that worried purely because Maguire is still back in form. Maguire isn't a bad defender. He hasn't had a bad run of form. He's always kind of turned up when need to. So if we've got Mazraoui, De Ligt, and Maguire, I think that's more than capable, especially if we've got the right wing backs in front of them and the right midfield. If we set up right, I think Maguire, De Ligt, and Mazraoui is plenty. And I don't. I mean, even if not that it's going to happen, but even if someone like Godwill Kokonki will come on, because mate, he is going to be an absolute beast. If Maguire got injured in the 60th minute or something, we have Luke Shaw that can come on, and I'm sure that he probably won't start. But Luke Shaw pretty much is a centre back at the moment for us more than a wing back, purely because of his experience as a defender. I'm not that worried at all. I think if we're going to lose, we're going to lose from other means, i.e. the midfield that I spoke about earlier on in the podcast, where they understand a lot more about their own formation than what we do. But I don't think that one spot. Again, Martinez probably isn't in the best form at the moment anyway. Like just a week ago against Ipswich, like where Tyrone Malacia had that sprint, that Martinez probably should have been there for cover anyway. So he's not been like 9, 10 out of 10 or even 8 out of 10 performances of late Martinez. Busy Christmas period coming up. Yes, I wish it was if he was banned for this game against Everton and back for Arsenal, I think that would have been awesome. The fact that it's the other way around, alright, so be it. We've got Man City coming up. Let's make sure that Martinez is fit and ready for the game against Man City, because we're going to need everyone we can for that match also. So, yeah, I mean, this one isn't going to be bad. I think the game is going to be won or lost at other areas of the pitch ultimately,
I don't know. I mean, with Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Jesus, and Trossard all in that lineup for Arsenal, especially with Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka can cook people, absolutely. So you want to talk about putting Maguire up against a Bukayo Saka? He's gonna get exposed, absolutely. Especially if we're not playing Luke Shaw in that left wing back role. So, Martinez is just the type of player that we really would have needed to kind of shore up that particular side of defense.
Yeah, but it's not like we're getting a man sent off, though, Sporadiclese, right? We have capable people that can come into... It's not like we're going... Arsenal played Man City a little while ago and they went down to 10 men in that first half and they literally defended the whole of the second half pretty much. And they nearly got a result out of it. And that's without 10 minutes. We are going to have a full 11 people on the pitch for as long until Casemiro gets himself sent off. But we are going to have...
It's still about the matchups. It's still about the matchups. And this is going to be a team that we need to have pace against, right? If we do not have the pace to be able to deal with those types of players, then we're going to have a bad time. And you're talking about...
Remember, we're going away, though. I think we're going to need pace in the midfield and attack. I don't think we're necessarily going to need pace in the defense because we are away, and I think we're going to be... This is going to be a new test for everyone. The last few games are like, right, can we score goals? How do we score goals with this formation? Well, right, awesome. But how can we now keep things tipped? Like, we've got Onana's in good form. He's got the most clean sheets of everyone. Our defence isn't bad, but this is going to be a test for everyone. But I don't think the result of the match will depend on the outcome of who plays at the left centre-back role in the 3. Do you know what I mean? There's 10 other positions on the pitch is what I'm trying to get at. And Maguire and Martinez aren't that far away in levels or abilities where it's going to cost us the match. In my opinion, that's all I'm saying.
But they are miles different in their characteristics and what they bring to their teams.
Yeah, Maguire's 3 foot taller than Martinez, so he should be better at corners, offensively and defensively.
Bukayo Saka is short and fast, and Harry Maguire is neither of those things. And so, I don't see him thriving against Bukayo Saka. I really don't.
Doesn't have to thrive. He just has to.
Oh, he does. He doesn't.
He just needs to repel. Okay. All right. Well, I'm just looking for a little bit of leeway here, though, because I don't think that I can give you the win on the one position.
10 assists and 5 goals from Bukayo Saka this season, and you want to tell me that you want Maguire to go against that?
No, I don't want Maguire there. Come on, I want Martinez. I'm just saying.
But, yeah, okay. Well, there we go.
But we don't have Martinez. But the difference between but again, we don't lose over one position. Is what I'm trying to get at. There are 100 other ways we could lose this game that doesn't include that position where Maguire or Martinez is going to be playing. And I think
one poor matchup can stretch the entirety of the rest of the formation. Absolutely, it can.
This is why it's for or against. I know, but I'm trying. But I'm seeing the pros and cons. And again, Arsenal are great at corners. Check. Martinez isn't. Check. But then Maguire's not that bad. So check. Martinez is faster. Awesome. But again, honestly, we get to the game on Wednesday, Sporadiclese, and we all lose or by a free kick or a corner or something on the left-hand side and not the right-hand side. Where I don't know. I just don't think that one position is going to. But I do. It is. In everything in my bones says not to give it to you, but I guess I'm going to have to. I just don't like the whole one position.
That's
it's like
giving it to you.
See,
by the way,
it is, but no, because I'm for.
I'm for.
No, I'm for, because I wrote it down when he told me. You've been against for this one, because you were against last week.
I have not been against. I said that it was a dream start for Amorim, and that Martinez ban is going to cost us. That's for both of these things.
I don't know. Never mind. All right, whatever. But no, it's like saying that we've already lost because Martinez isn't going to be able to play. That's the mentality that you're saying, and that's what I'm trying to get across.
It's gonna make it a lot more difficult.
But it's not. Sure. But that's what it's not a we can't call it a foregone conclusion just because Martinez isn't playing, and that's right. But it's fine. I let you have it. It's okay. We'll move on to the next one.
Thanks, I didn't deserve that.
No, you didn't. But I felt like I don't know. I felt like it'd be wrong to kind of do that for you. So that's on red. All right, final one then. Sporadiclese, where we go. ZIRKZEE, if he stays, will get 10 plus goals in the Premier League this season, or 10 more plus goals in Premier League this season. So he's on 3 right now. Will he finish on 13 plus Premier League goals by the end of the season?
Oh, okay. 10 more as of this day. I thought you were saying
plus
10
more.
Plus for the whole season. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think that I would have to say yes, even if I was in the against position here. We're seeing him getting opportunities in a more natural position for him in that number 10 role, and we saw what it can do for him today, right? He absolutely thrived today. If Amad Diallo did not have the performance that he did, I would say this 100% man of the match would have gone to ZIRKZEE today. 2 goals. I think he was crucial in the way that we were attacking, and the way that he is providing support to the rest of the players around him. And I know that he's not a natural goal scorer, right? That's something that we've criticized for him throughout this season. But whenever he's able to get into the positions that he wants to, like he has been able to in games like this against Everton, he is going to thrive. And we play Everton again. That's already another 2 goals for him, right? So I think altogether this formation suits him. I think he's going to have a lot more flexibility to do the things that he wants to, and that this formation really is going to be unlocked by having players like him doing the things that he does in this type of setup. And so yes, he is going to get more goals, and not only that, he's going to get more assists as well, for sure.
I'm going to say he's not even going to be here, so I'm going to say it's not going to happen. I've talked about this before. We've had a new person.
Or take.
Yeah, you can say what you like. I didn't say that Ericsson was bang average or anything. So second, we've all got a poor take in us.
We're always going to go back to that, aren't we?
But look, let's just say, for example, Sporadiclese, that you bought a new car, and I know you have recently, so it's been good analogy. So you bought a new car, but then you don't need it anymore. For whatever reason, it's your 3rd car, like for your summer holiday or summer home or something. You just don't need it anymore. But yet, you need to put a kid through college, so you need a bit of extra cash. You need to sell your car again. Now, you're not going to get what you paid for it, but it's still pretty valuable because it's a new car, pretty much. It's only a second owned. So if you've paid like 50 grand for it or something, and you need to sell it like a month later, you might get 35, 40, something like that, like a bit of degrade. But the price is still going to be there. Amorim's just come into the squad, and he's like, right, who's worth what? There are rumours that Rashford's going to be sold for 60 million, and he's like, where else can I get money to rebuild the squad that I want? Oh, Joshua ZIRKZEE, he's just going, we've just spent 45 million on him. We're not going to get that, but there could be 35, 40 million there, or a deal, or a trade, or a swap, or something could be done with that piece, that valuable asset that may not want. Now, before this game, it's been on. There are so many rumours that ZIRKZEE isn't going to be staying, that he's unhappy, that he's asking to leave, that Juventus are inquiring about his availability and everything else. And I think before this match it was kind of justified. But this match was the first time in 6 months that we've all gone, this guy can play in a United shirt. He's actually got a bit of outcome. So I think it's real 50-50 here, right? He could go on and do what Sporadiclese said and go on to get assists and goals and be a key part of our team. But just as likely, in my opinion, he could well be sold to get more funds to build the Amorim project that he wants. He hasn't been here for long enough to be held back, to be loyal. I'm unsure. It's been strange that we've had rumours since he got here that people want him or he wants to go. And it's such a strange thing to have. But yeah, I'm glad that he's got a couple of goals. I'm glad there are now at least question marks, because before this game there were no question. People weren't happy over his performances. So I don't know here, Sporadiclese. I just don't think that he's gonna be here. But if we were assuming that he would be here by the end of the season, after watching that match today, it'd be hard fought to say no, he's not going to get another 10 plus Premier League goals this season, because he could have had even a couple more today.
To say that we're going to sell a number 10 in a formation where we operate with 2 number 10s, I think is silly. And if you're going to say that you're going to take a loss on somebody that multiple teams are inquiring about, there's no way. And so if he does go, we'd better get over what we paid for him for it.
No, I think you're missing the point. We're not going to get 50 million. But anyway, but whatever we do get for ZIRKZEE, Mount will go in there. Right, because we've got 3 or 4 number 10s in 2 slots, and Rashford can go deeper as well if need be or whatever. So look, it's not like he's the only person that plays in that role at the moment. It could well be possible for him to go, and we go whatever we get. Amorim will go, right. Well, yeah, I can get a right wing back there, or I can get that striker, or whatever. He could probably fill in 2 or 3 positions with that money, maybe. I don't know. But I'm not the one coming up with these rumours, though, sporadically. So I agree with you. It's a bit silly. We buy someone, and within 6 months we sell him again. I mean, why couldn't we do that with Anthony, for starters? But I mean, I hear, but it's not me coming. It's just strange from a football fan who's lived and breathed football since growing up, that those rumours were there since pretty much day one that he joined our club, and they've never gone away. Like every couple of weeks there's a new rumour and a new club and a new statement coming. It's just weird. And so I don't know how you can build a fan. It's like Angel Di Maria. That's the only person I can think of that we bought and sold again really quickly because it didn't work out. I think this is a different situation, but also the similarities are there also. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but, I think right now Amorim is trying to, play different players and kind of throw everything at the wall and see what sticks, and this stuck today for sure. And so to think that, we have all of these matches coming up quick back to back to back, ZIRKZEE is going to get more opportunities, and if he keeps on playing like this for the rest of December, there's no way he gets sold in January. If he gets another 3-4 goals and maybe a couple of assists in the rest of this month, if Amorim sold him and sold him under purchase price, I guess if the club did, Amorim wouldn't be the person selling him, right? He would have a say in that, obviously. But if he comes out and scores another 3 goals and gets 2 assists in the rest of this in the rest of this month, and then he gets sold for below purchase price, that is probably the worst possible thing that
you can't say
United
that.
could do.
You can't say that because we've still got Anthony on the books.
You can't say that.
No.
Well,
I think I hear what you're saying.
It's the worst thing that could happen.
I just think you've gone a bit overboard there into like the worst thing we could do. I hear what you're saying, but what it's a thing that you can get
in the left back and starts funding for another position. So to say that we would be desperate and strapped for cash to do what we need to whenever we still have a Hoyland up top, like, yes, if we sell Rashford, we're going to need probably a striker, and we still need a left back. And so I think that 60 million could potentially go to Alphonso Davies, and then we might even still have some left over. I don't think we would have to shell out 60 for.
Well, Rashford will come under the financial fair play as well. So there's a little. I don't know how exactly all that works, but because he come through our system, it's 100% profit pretty much, whatever that counts. So it's a bit more that, however that calculates, it'd be a bit more. But yeah, I hear you. But again, I don't know. I think ZIRKZEE has a price on his head, and I think the amount of people still talking about it's just strange to me. But I will let you have this one as well here, buddy. Don't say I never do anything for you at Christmas, everyone. Hey, Jesus, let me just put that on in green and make that happening. There we go.
It's the Santa hat, isn't it? It's making you more favorable to my opinions.
It's warmed down the icicles on my heart. Absolutely. It's so maybe a bit of whiskey for next week, and I'll wear my own or something. But let us know what you guys think down below. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've been TheSaffronMan. He's been Sporadiclese. This has been For or Against. Let us know what you think down below in the comment section, if we're right or if we're wrong. And I'll be back on Tuesday for the prediction for the Arsenal game, and you'll see Sporadiclese before next week's podcast as well. But any final thoughts, Sporadiclese?
Oh man, yeah, good week, and looking forward to see what the rest of this one brings. So good start, and thanks again to everybody that has followed and subscribed. Again, don't forget to do that. We really appreciate it, and also hit a like on the video. That helps us out a lot too, and it's all for free.
And yeah, fingers crossed Man City actually get a goal against Liverpool to turn it to a score draw. And fingers crossed we get a result against the Arsenal. That would just be amazing. But yeah, anyway, all those good things. See you soon. Thanks a lot. Peace.